with real justice. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
I call Alfred Narrow.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise to take a call on the Family Court Proceedings Reform Bill. Mr. Speaker, the Honourable Phil Goff read from the Family Court Review Regulatory Impact Statement. He talked about the gaps and the uncertainties, the significant constraints. But Mr. Speaker, and he also talked about the engagement with key stakeholders. What he carefully did was leave out a sentence that said this: there has been extensive consultation on identifying the issues facing the family court and the options for reform. Consultation included meeting with stakeholders, a public consultation paper and an online questionnaire for court users. Mr. Speaker, in April of 2011, Cabinet directed the Ministry of Justice to undertake a review of the family court. Mr. Speaker, in response to serious concerns raised by court users that included the public, judges, lawyers and counsellors, the review found that there, in addition to concerns about rapidly rising costs, the court lacks sufficient focus on meeting the needs of children. Mr. Speaker, we were commented as the National Party as a people who do not know what ordinary lives are, what ordinary people. Mr. Speaker, I've been an advocate and a supporter in the family court. I've seen the heartache and the distress that has caused. In the family court, Mr. Speaker, it has been adversarial. It has been negative for children. It's not focused enough on the most serious cases, even of domestic violence. Mr. Speaker, as a previous member of the National Task Force for Family Violence and proudly wearing as an ambassador of the white ribbon, we, even on this side, Mr. Speaker, do understand the cause and effect of domestic violence and that it has to both women and children. The courts are spending too much time on simple, private matters that are better resolved outside the court. It's too complex and in recent years has had huge growth and costs despite the overall number of applications. Mr. Speaker, the purpose then for the Family Court Proceedings Reform Bill is to ensure a modern, accessible family justice system that is responsive to children and vulnerable people and is efficient and effective. It's an omnibus bill, Mr. Speaker. It means 9 different acts. And as was commented, it's been over 30 years since there's been any form of review. And so this government has taken that initiative, Mr. Speaker. The changes in the bill will be supported by the amendments to the Family Court's Rules of 2002. Mr. Speaker, there are 3 key provisions on this bill. Family dispute resolution. The bill establishes a family dispute resolution process to focus the family justice system towards supporting people to resolve their disputes where appropriate and out of court. Mr. Speaker, I've personally seen the heartache and the heartbreak that is seen when children have been at the centre of these disputes. Mr. Speaker, in the regulatory impact statement, it was very clear that the current status quo is that the proposals for reform focus largely on the resolution of parenting disputes. Mr. Speaker, for so long, the focus has been on adults. The focus has not been on the provision to care for the needs of our young and our most vulnerable. Mr. Speaker, this bill is about caring for those that are most at need. Mr. Speaker, I commend this bill to the House.
I call Dennis O'Rourke.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The government was right this year to review